Hey, and welcome to the Tranquil Airstream. We're excited to have you stay with us. I'm going to walk through a few how-tos on important things to know about this unique stay. So right now I'm standing at the entrance. There are instructions on how to get here along with our address. You'll be pulling in a driveway that's right by our house. You'll see a white house that borders the driveway. You'll come all the way down and there's 2 parking spots right here where you can park 2 cars. If you need more parking, we have it. Just please request that in advance. So right here, you're going to walk in the front entrance with this key. You just want to make sure that this door is all the way closed. Sometimes it kind of is in this half closed position. If it's not unlocking, just push it. You'll hear a click. This key right here is going to turn to the left and then you'll pull. If it's not closed all the way, it's probably going to do something like that where it half opens. Just push it back in, put that key in, turn it to the left, and then you're good. Now when you leave, just please make sure you lock up the door. You can take the key with you obviously during your stay. When you check out at the end, you can just put the key right back. So when you walk in the Airstream, you're going to want to know obviously how to turn on the lights. So we have everything set up on remotes for the most part. You've got remotes here. This remote right here is going to control your big main bright white lights overhead. So you can simply turn them off, turn it on. You can also dim them. If you hear kind of a whining noise, it's just the nature of these low voltage LEDs. You want to either hit that white circle right there, or just bring it all the way here with your finger. When they're turned all the way to max brightness, that kind of whining noise will go away. If you want a little bit better mood light in the evening, you've got this other remote. Obviously they can both be on at the same time. So if you want more mood lighting, you'll have this remote. You just press on, you'll see some LED strips around the Airstream in the main living area that will turn on. This one's not going to dim with your finger, instead it's going to change the color temperature. So if you want it to be a bright white like the overhead lights in the middle of the day, or if you want a nice warm glow in the evening, same thing. If you hear that kind of whining noise, just make sure you're all the way in one direction on the color and that your brightness is all the way up, and that should go away. Exterior lighting. So this is going to control the string lights that are over the deck, as well as the LED strip that goes underneath the deck in the evening. You can control the dimming right there as well. There are additional pathway lights and whatnot out there. Those are all going to come on in the evening, and then they're going to turn back off in the morning. Other lighting is going to be right here. There are 2 lights on the outside of the Airstream that you can turn on facing the deck. Moving on to more interior lighting, you do have a closet switch right here for your sliding closet. The switches in the bathroom are pretty self-explanatory. They're just switches right down here as well. Oh, that's your fan. So there's your light. And then back here in the bedroom, you're going to have a switch that does a bright overhead, and then the same remote like you have in the front. That's going to control these tungsten lights. Same thing, make sure that brightness is all the way up to get rid of any whining noise. TV is really simple. You have 2 Echo Show 15s. You have a remote for each. You should have access to all of your streaming services that you would normally have at home through those. All right, the tank monitor system, probably one of the most important things about staying in the Airstream. The Airstream still uses its tanks. That's a gray and black water tank. So essentially the black tank is anything that's going to go down the toilet. The gray tank is anything going down the sink and going down the shower. Not a big deal on how much water you use, just know it might fill up that tank over time. And so the big thing with that is just to monitor right here. Just click that gray button. You'll see it says 0. That just means it's 0% full. That means it's completely empty. As that gets filled up during your stay, it's going to go up 20, 30, 40%. As it starts to go up, and if you're still in the middle of your stay, it's getting around that 50, 60, 70% mark. Definitely let us know that it's starting to get full so that we can come down and drain it for you. You don't want that tank getting full and backing up your sink or shower. And then the black tank, same thing, you can hit that. You can see it's 10% full right now. It will start off at 0 with your stay. Again, just keep your eye on it. Just every once in a while, maybe click a button and check. Not something to be like overly, worried about, but you just don't want that tank backing up either and getting full. All right, AC and heating. So we do have a central unit right here as well as a unit in the back. You do have a controller right here that's going to control the main unit in the living area. So you're going to have a few zones. That is going to go through a auto, which is going to be just like your home. You set the temperature, it's going to heat or cool to get there. You can set it to cool, which is obviously your AC. You can go to heat pump. Heat pump is going to be your heating for anything above 40 degrees outside. If you are staying with us in the winter, you're going to want to hit that mode button one more time and go to furnace. Furnace is going to be your true heat that runs off the propane for anything when the temperature is below 40. It's very important that you run it off the furnace in that weather. Otherwise, it's not going to heat adequately, and it also runs a risk of things freezing up if it gets too cold. After that, it's just going to be the fan mode, which is simply going to run a fan, and then after that, it will just go back to auto or turn off. Now in the back, you have another AC unit, and I'll show you that real quick. This is separately controlled. You just have twist knobs. It's either going to be on an AC setting or a fan setting, and you just control how cold you want it to be and what level that fan is. And that should keep you cool in the middle of the summer in combination with the main unit. When you're heating the Airstream with the furnace, that is going to use propane. You are going to want to keep your eye on the propane levels as you use that furnace. You don't want to watch them get too low and then run out in the middle of the night and run out of heat, especially if you're with us in the winter when it gets pretty cold. So if you see that tank monitor system saying that that liquid propane gas is getting down to that 30% range, let us know so we can come and swap those tanks out for you. So the Airstream is equipped with a stove. I'm just gonna pull up right here and you're gonna see that you have 3 burners here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna rotate that to the light position. It says light high, and then rotate this right here where it says light. It's gonna create that little spark that's gonna light that burner. You do the same thing. You're gonna rotate the other burners to that light position, turn that light knob, and it will create that spark that's gonna light those burners. You do have an oven right here as well. That oven is controlled right here by this knob. You can see your temperature and broil settings. And that's pretty much it for the stove and oven. All right, sleeping arrangement. So of course you've got the main master bed in the back, and then you've got this couch which folds out to a bed. All you're going to do is lift up on that and then pull it towards you, and it's gonna kind of naturally go down, and then you see you have a bed right there. To convert the dinette next, we're gonna just make sure we have everything off of the tabletop. Set that to the side. You'll lift up and this leg's going to fold up. You'll see underneath there is a bar that is resting in some hinge-like positions, and then you've got these locks. As you lift the table up, it's going to naturally release from those locks, and it's going to rotate down on those hinges. Just kind of want to position it in between the framing of each of the seats, and it should fit in there flush like that. Again, make sure it sits in even, rest on the supports, and is in there flat. And then you're going to take these backrest cushions and just fill that center section there. There are sheets under here in a drawer, as well as pillowcases. There's pillowcases in the closet and sheets underneath the futon as well. Then to put it back up, you just want to, of course, take your cushions off that you put on there. It is a little heavy, so of course be careful doing this. Again, have it in that kind of angled up position. Make sure that those pieces go into the locks. Fold that leg down, and then you're back to a dinette. So in the bathroom, there's not a lot to show. The toilet is a foot pedestal toilet, so you'll see down there by your feet, you just step on it to flush. In the shower, operates like a normal shower. You do have a handle that has an on-off button. Main reason for that is to help conserve hot water, as well as water if you were traveling with the trailer. Not a concern here. You have a city water supply, but the hot water is something to think about. It's only about a 5-gallon hot water tank on the Airstream, so it can run out rather quickly. You don't want to just leave it running before you get in the shower. Just kind of plan your showers accordingly. If you have a group of people, you might want to give a little gap in between each shower, just to let that hot water heater heat that water back up in the tank so each person can have an enjoyable hot shower. Fire pit, tiki torches, and cornhole. So you have a solo stove fire pit right here. You just take off that cover. There's a hard cover underneath. It makes for a great surface to play cards on or have drinks over, share a meal, but you just take that off and you'll see the fire pit underneath. In the storage unit in front of the Airstream, it's a small rectangle one about knee height, not the big one that's over behind the Airstream. You'll see the lock on that. Open that up and you're going to find that there are fire pit pellets in there, as well as a torch, fire starters, and everything you need to make the experience of using that fire pit easy. All you're going to do to start that fire is take that bag of fire pit pellets. The full bag's going to last you about 45 minutes if you want to dump the whole thing in there, or you can spread it out over a couple fires. Put a couple fire starters in there after you've poured the pellets in, light those with the torch, and then you should be good to go. We do provide firewood as well. Once you have that fire going from the fire pit pellets, you can put some wood on there and go from there. We do provide a heat deflector as well. You'll see a kind of stand unit you can just flip over. Kind of makes sense when you see it, and you'll put that kind of dish looking thing on top with the handle up. You want to do that right as the fire is getting started, or even before you start it. You'll still be able to put wood in there and things around it. Pouring in the pellets might be a little harder after that's on, so maybe do those first. It is going to get very hot once the fire is going because it is metal, so put that in place before the fire gets going. I would be careful touching it again. We do have some gloves if you need to move it. There are other fire tools as well. Obviously, use caution around the fire pit. If you have any children or animals or anything like that, be extra cautious with them. If you are going to step away or leave when you're using a fire or going to bed, just make sure that you put that fire out before you do so. We also have a cooktop surface for the fire pit. I'd recommend using that after you've had the fire going and it's cooking over wood rather than the pellets. You want to use that when it's over kind of an ember, not necessarily a roaring fire. That's going to allow you to cook on it. It's kind of a cast iron skillet, really cool thing to cook on outside in this space. Also in that storage unit, that's where your cornhole bags are going to be. We've got the cornhole boards right here. And then you have your Tiki torches. You just take your torch, take this top off right here, light those up, especially in the summer when you've got bugs around. That's going to help keep the mosquitoes and things like that at bay. When it's all wrapped up and you're done using the cornhole bags, you're done using the fire pit and all those tools, if you could just please try and clean up the tools that you do use. Try and clean up that skillet surface if you decided to cook on it. We do have a water hose over here by the firewood that you're welcome to use to kind of spray that off and dry it off. And then just put everything that you are done with back in that storage bin and lock it up before you leave. On checkout, if you could do a few things for us, we'd much appreciate it. If you could take any of your towels and any sheets, if you use any sheets with the futon or the Dinette, you don't have to take these covers off, but if you can just throw that all in the laundry bag. Any trash, if you can take that outside, just to the trash can right here, we'll take care of it from there. Any dishes, if you could wash those and put those back, just make sure you have all your personal belongings and just don't leave a fire burning in the fire pit. If you can make sure if there's an active fire that gets put out before you leave. If you used any of the fire pit tools, if you could try and clean those up for us, put your cornhole bags back in the storage compartment that you got them from. Just kind of leave it the way you found it. It would be much appreciated and help us set it up for the guest that comes after you. Last thing, we have an Airstream guide. It pretty much goes over everything I've been talking about in this video. It'll be here waiting for you on the table. Feel free to reference that, or of course this video again if you have any questions. And if there's any questions that still are on your mind after that, feel free to just shoot us a message and we'll be happy to answer those. Again, thanks for booking with us. We're excited to have you here.